the first time I went to a heavy chef event, it would have been around 4 or 5 years ago. And I remember thinking, wow, like this is really amazing. This is incredible. This person I know from a few drunken karaoke nights apparently has put on this incredible event, and it was really inspiring. And I'm super grateful to be standing here today. So I just want to say that I'm grateful to be here. I am so grateful for your presence. So thank you very much for granting me some time to share my story. So it's 2010. I'm sitting in my mom's office, which is in a city called Asmara in a country called Eritrea, which is on the border of Ethiopia. You're still with me? Excellent, because it's on your continent. And Eritrea is an incredible country. It went through a very, very tedious war with Ethiopia. Finally, the two countries have a better relationship now, which is fantastic. And the internet worked about 2 hours a day. Granted, it was 2010, so it was okay. But my mom was at the office. She's a diplomat, and she comes home for lunch. But the rest of the time, I was kind of killing time between my master's degrees that I had my bachelor degrees that I just finished in Toronto, Canada, which one was in theater. And I was getting ready to do my master's degree in Norway and in South Africa. Now, I'd struck a deal with my parents, and I said, listen, I want to move to South Africa. And my dad's like, no. And I was like, but yes. And he's like, okay, you can do it if you do your master's degree at the same time. Because he's like, look, let me at least secure education, and then she can go. So I chose this master's degree that was at the Peace Research Institute in Oslo in Norway, working in the Nobel Library, which was gorgeous. And then the second half of the program took place in Stellenbosch. And I sat there that Christmas kind of killing time, hanging out with my mom, who is amazing. And I started researching the FIFA 2010 World Cup, which was around the corner, and you were hosting it. And I started researching Bafana Bafana, but more so Banyana Banyana. And I realized that there was absolutely no information about the female football team, and that there were no programs encouraging girls to play sports. Now, I sound American, but I am Dutch, and I was born in Brazil. I sing one song in Portuguese, but I'm not doing that one tonight. But I am originally from the Netherlands, but because I grew up in a few different countries, I went to American private schools, and at these American schools, soccer was a huge thing. Women's football is a huge thing. So I thought, okay, let me see what I can do. Let me see, when I get to South Africa, maybe there's something we can do with Banyana Banyana to raise a profile on women's sport. So I got to SA, and everybody was like, oh, you're gonna love it. The vineyards are beautiful. And it was gorgeous. But what really excited me was this opportunity to work with the young people in South Africa. So I took my bicycle and rode into Khayelitsha. And my then boyfriend was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm Dutch, I'm riding my bike. He's like, yeah, but you can't just ride it into Khayelitsha. And I'm like, well, I'm still here. So that's fine, guys, it's okay. I biked to the primary school. I said, listen, I'd like to do this football program. They were like, we don't really know what you mean. And I said, look at all this research. Sport is fantastic for girls. Can we run some programs in your school? And we grew from there to an NGO that was recognized by former First Lady Michelle Obama. God bless her, I wish she was still with us. It would be amazing if we had her as a First Lady. And we did this wonderful work with women, young women in South Africa, bringing sport to the communities. What we realized was that we were up against a lot of roadblocks, and it breaks my heart to say that I left South Africa in 2013 because we were out of school, and it wasn't just this. But when you are passionate about something, and I'm going to tell you the downside of passion just now, when you are passionate about something, if you get a no and it breaks your heart, that is a really deep heartbreak. That is like, it was so hard for me because this one day I went to the school and I realized they had 24 computers that were donated to them. And I asked the principal, can we please unlock this room so that we can also do 45 minutes with the girls on the computers? And she said, no, we're not going to unlock the computer room. And I said, why? Like, please, like, why won't you let us open the room? And she said, because I don't know how to use a computer. And I was like, okay, I understand. And I empathize with that for sure. But these kids are 8. Like, please, like, let us use them. And she wouldn't. And that was a real turning point for me because I realized, wow, like, I cannot do this at all alone. And I had a team of 12 girls working with me. You know, we were working so hard around the clock trying to make a change. So what did I do? I went to a conference at Columbia University. It was a top 25, under 25 thing, so this was about 6 years ago. And I met the vice president of human resources at IBM. And I was telling her a little bit about what we did and the mobile health app that we launched. And she said, you know what? We are actually looking for some young talent in Dubai. Are you interested in moving to Dubai? And I said, well, actually, no, I'm not. I really don't like Dubai very much, but I'll give it a go. How can it hurt me? Let me give IBM a go. It's a great company, and you have a female CEO, and I think she's pretty cool. I'm going to give it a go. So I moved to Dubai thinking I'm going to be here for a year. I'm going to save a lot of tax-free money, and then I'm going to go back to South Africa and put it all back into Girls in Football, which was the NGO. And I did do that, and it worked for a long time. I was lucky my portfolio was Africa, Middle East, so I could travel back to Joburg and Cape Town quite a bit, in addition to Angola, Nigeria. Funny story, actually. My name, Jos, J-O-S, is a city in Nigeria. Did any of you know that? A few of you know? Okay, so I had to present in front of 500 Nigerian people. And they were like, who is this American girl? Again, I am not American. Who is this American girl? What is she doing here? And I was like, hi, it's so nice to meet you all. I just want to let you know that I was named after a city in Nigeria, Jos. And I had them. We were good. We were good for the next 3 days. They were my friends. I wasn't actually named after a city in Nigeria. I was named after my grandfather. My parents were super forward-thinking. No, seriously, if you Google the name Jos, it's like 5 Belgian dudes and me. Worked in Dubai for a bit and kept a lot of the work going until I resigned from my corporate job 3 years after having started it, and really went back into working on things that made me feel so damn good. And I think what I want to talk to you about a little bit more today is that journey of doing what has felt good, whether it was theater and music and Model United Nations, speech and debate, and then moving to South Africa, having an amazing time with Girls in Football. I did not know that human beings could function not doing what they loved. And I learned a very, very hard lesson. And it was very, very difficult for me. But what I've learned even more so is that going back to doing what you love, refinding your purpose and being brave enough to trust it is almost even harder. So there's a few things that I want to share with you. First of all, the problem with passion. I could not agree more with what Fred has said. If it is there, it is not going away. I've tried. Okay, if you succeed, let me know. I've tried. It did not work for me. If you are passionate about something, if you care about something, whether or not one person believes in you, you are your one person that believes in you. And that is the only way that's gonna work. But as I've experienced my career evolve over different countries, so just to break that piece down a little bit more, I was born in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and after that we moved to Bangladesh, and then we moved to Spain, and then we moved to Senegal, and then we moved to the Netherlands, Canada, Norway, South Africa, South Sudan, Eritrea, Austria, Canada, UAE. So that's 12 countries.
Where do you live now?
So I really try to avoid that question. Amazing. People will not let it go. They're like, no, but then where do you live? No, but like, where is your stuff? I'm like, my stuff is in my suitcase where it needs to be. No, it's difficult for me, for sure. I think literally currently my stuff is between 2 places. But it's okay for now. It's not okay forever, but it's okay for now. It works with the way that I've run my business as well, because I chose to have clients in the cities that I love the most, so New York, London, Joburg. It's actually kind of cool. But you also have to know something about that lifestyle, or at least trying to grow your business across multiple different geographies and regions. Number 1, you need to turn up. Okay, because turning up for a 9 to 5 in a city where you are working with your co-founder by your side is completely different than starting a business with your co-founder across a different time zone, in a different country, with a different first language, with a VPN that doesn't work, etc., etc., etc. It is much harder, and that's where you have to be patient. I can give you a very practical example. This was with my mother when she was now stationed in South Sudan after the signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement in 2005, when the North and the South split. Our conversations went like this. I would call her from university. I was in Toronto. Hi, Mom, over. Hi, Jos, how are you doing? Over. Oh, I'm great, Mom, yeah, I got a D in psychology. Over. You got a B? Over? First of all, we could not understand each other. I did get a D, but she thought it was a B, so that was fine. But we had to say over to each other. I couldn't have a normal conversation with my parents for 4 years because I had one parent in South Sudan and the other one in Iraq. By the way, if you're looking for relationship advice, my parents are amazing. They have the most incredible, solid relationship because they work together through war zones, through career changes, through long distance, and now coming back to the same house. So it's really a very inspirational couple, beautiful relationship. But what I learned from them, and I learned from my relationship with my family and my relationship with my business partners, is you have to turn up. Because it is so much more your responsibility to be okay, sometimes with that 10 p.m. call, sometimes, last night for me, 3 a.m. call, not so good. I wouldn't advise that. But they're in Dallas and they're American, so that's their time zone. But no, listen, it really is more important that you make that commitment. Talk it out. Honestly, I could stand here today and make a mistake and say something that upsets you, but I've been to 99 countries and I swear to you, it's definitely not my intention to do that. Assume positive intent. You have no idea what somebody went through, because when you hear travel, you might think, wow, that's amazing. That would be so incredible, but it's not. There's actually massive trauma for children that have to move when they're 3, when they're 6, when they're 9. Every time you say goodbye to a language, to a pet, to a community, to the people that have lived around you, to your teachers, there's zero stability. So make sure that you talk it out. Trust that other person's coming with positive intent, and trust your gut as well, because there are people that might not have the right intentions, but your body will tell you that. And that brings me to almost my actual closing point. Before that, the tactical tips. I think that when we start to think, okay, I'm going to take my passion across borders, they're totally going to get me where I'm going. No, they're not. They're not, okay? It is your responsibility to bring your audience along with you every single time. Break the ice with them, get into a flow with them, get them on the same page as you are. It's your responsibility. Because if they come here, you would hope that they would also try and meet you. Maybe they would ask you a question about what it's like living in South Africa, or maybe they want to talk to you about load shedding. Maybe they have curiosity about what you eat in the morning. It doesn't matter. They're trying to get to know you. Give them some of that open energy, because that's a very quick way to build that relationship. Also, don't underestimate the amount of tactical things you need to think about when you're trying to set up your business in a new country. If you think Dubai is easy, I don't know, people have mixed ideas about what it's like to work in Dubai. You can't have a voice call. I can't WhatsApp call my parents. I can't, because they block voice over IP. And you might think that that's not a big deal, but if you can't just call your best friend or your mom or your dad, it's not okay. It's very difficult to maintain a business relationship and just intimate relationships as well. So think about all those little challenges. I think people underestimate what it's like to have to sleep in a different bed, to have to figure out the subway, to have to understand why the traffic is worse here. So start thinking like a local, because it'll be much easier for you to build your business in a new country organically. And that'll help you bring your passion to people as well. Some of the biggest lessons I've learned as well, over the next 3-4 weeks, I'm here in my beloved Cape Town, so thank you. And then in Athens, then Dubai, and then Jakarta and Melbourne in a span of about 3.5 weeks. And you have to take such good care of yourself, really. I mean, be super kind, eat really good food for your microbiome, your gut. Because, well, if you are interested at all in your microbiome, it basically helps you make any decision. That we don't know enough about it yet, but that research is extraordinary. Take good care of your gut, take good care of your mental health, get enough sleep. It sounds boring, but it's the only way to go. It really is. There's no way to survive 4 or 5 time zones and not be that diligent about your self-care. So prioritize that, and you'll see that all your relationships flow much easier. And I've learned in moments of frustration, of extreme jet lag, or just feeling lost or confused, and then blaming others, we get into that, like, why aren't they doing this? Like, why am I not getting what I need from these people? I always find that taking it back to some Buddhist practice about, well, whatever value you don't feel like you're getting, what are you putting out there? So coming back down to who I am, what I know about my growing up across this beautiful continent, growing up in theater, just rooting right back down to who I am. So if you're on a journey now where you're looking at revisiting your passion, or reigniting the passion that you've had before for a project, or maybe you're just kind of trying to figure out what it is, what really makes your heart beat faster, be kind to yourself, practice stillness, because those answers will drop when they need to. Thank you.